All right, everyone, welcome back into another Fantasy Golf video. Going to be breaking down round 4 here of the American Express tournament. Giving you guys my favorite bets, including 3-ball bets, actual 3-ball bets this time, head-to-head bets there. Talking about any potential live bets, and then talking about some PrizePicks and Underdog bets as well, but also covering my favorite Showdown and Underdog draft picks as well there for you guys. Jam-packed video, but I want to start off with a quick recap from the tournament thus far. So we'll do a quick recap from yesterday, guys. Very interesting day yesterday. So yesterday, 3-ball bets and head-to-head bets, not good, minus 2.3 units. That's the bad. The ugly is that it was a terrible Showdown day and Underdog best ball draft day. Now, I mentioned that was going to be the concern yesterday with the fact that all the really good golfers, right, were going off of the stadium course. All the best golfers in the field were going off the stadium course. So the logic, obviously, with the North Tournament course or Nicklaus Tournament course being the easiest course, you want to be targeting that with Showdown picks. But I thought the gap maybe might not be as big this round because, well, one, there wasn't that many good golfers going off of the Nicklaus Tournament course, and two, you had a bunch of really good golfers that kind of in contention as well going into the stadium course. And then with that, it was just tough to make good lineups with just not that many good golfers Nicklaus Tournament course-wise. So a little bit unfortunate there Showdown-wise, but we were able to hit a low-round winner. We actually hit 2 low-round winners yesterday. JT Poston chopped it up there, and then Max Gracerman won it full outright, which was pretty awesome there. And I did mention that at the start of the week, guys. The whole point of betting on the low-round golfers is to bet on them for all 3 rounds. And so now in total, just betting on the low round golfers and also the round by round bets, 12.37 units of profit. So very good stuff there. Again, that kind of goes to that long-term approach there. Well, first round leader bets and just head-to-head bets and whatnot. There's going to be ups and downs, but for the most part, as long as we stick to the correct strategy, we're going to be rewarded in the long term. Now, you guys have seen the screenshot that I have pulled up here for the full tournament here, guys, and this is going to be super tilting here if Seb Straka goes out and wins. So you guys have already seen the graphic, but let's call it out. So obviously, really, it's an annoying week because very predictable week, except for the fact that freaking SunJM and Tony Finau ended up missing the cut there. Very annoying there. But we had really 2 easy outright bets, I would say, just given how they were projected to play and given the odds that we were getting. Obviously, Jason Day, 90-1. It seems strange. Like, it doesn't seem like there's that many people actually on him this week. And I don't know why. I mentioned, like, last week, obviously, Nick Taylor, kind of a bad outright bet in the sense that just not a good staff hit. Again, I kind of mentioned how I get how people would end up on him, but that's kind of not my style to like go out of my way to maybe find a long shot bet, find a bet like that. And again, I'm not complaining against anyone that did that, but like Jason Day was a clear good long shot bet. And so that's what is strange. Like, it doesn't seem like there's that much hype around Jason Day, even though he was like clearly an awesome outright bet, like an easy click, like one easily going to be the easiest click that we have had or will have this full season. Maybe in some secondary events we'll get some other kind of longer odd bets that are a little bit better, but it's strange. Like, it's just weird that the lack of hype around and his ownership in DFS, it's just strange. And it's like, based off all the metrics that we know to use for predictability in fantasy golf, he just popped off the board. And so, I don't know, it's a head scratcher. And so, honestly, really, regardless of how he finishes on Sunday, we know that was a good bet and a good DFS play. Hopefully it comes through. 90-1 would be awesome to hit. Hopefully the Sunday pressure doesn't get to him. But we do need Seb Straka to fall off. And so, yes, obviously Seb Straka is going to be in the lead here, guys. Has a pretty massive lead as well, being at minus 23. Okay, so we need him to fall off. Now, this is something that I kind of caught early on in the round yesterday. I did call it on the Discord chat. I'm like, hey, guys, this is honestly a good spot to hedge any of our bets because I really just felt like all of them were doing well. Obviously, 5 of the 7 outright bets in the top 10. That's pretty crazy. I'm like, all right, if one of those guys don't win, I really do think it's going to be Seb Straka. And at that time, he was at 4-1. So it just felt like the correct hedge opportunity there, and hopefully that does come to fruition. And so honestly, as it sits right now, to me, it doesn't really make sense to jump on any golfers live betting wise. Like it wouldn't make sense to jump on Seb Straka at less than, you're getting him at 0.6-1. Like, it doesn't make sense to jump on him. It's better to just write it out. And obviously, we won't want to bet on Jason Day. We won't want to double dip. We already had him at 90-1, or in most American sites at least 70-1. So good stuff there. And then Patrick Cantlay, we're already on at better odds. Now, if you wanted to get to like someone like Justin Thomas, maybe you didn't bet on him at the start of the week and want to get on him now, you could. And heck, it wouldn't be too shocking. I mean, Max Graceman at 70-1, like obviously Seb Straka would have to come back to the field, and then Graceman would also have to have a good game. But that's, I mean, or a good day. That's kind of crazy that he is that low. But that's really the lowest I would think that we could go. And I'm not going to bet on Justin Lauer. Have some pieces of him in DFS. Wouldn't mind him winning there. But for betting purposes, no need to go there. And then, guys, let's jump into these 3-ball bets. To me, it's kind of simple in terms of what we want to be targeting, and it's nice to have these 3-ball bets back. My basic strategy when it comes to these 3-ball bets is bet on the ones that have a 40% or better likelihood to hit. And so literally just Patrick Rogers, Bo Hosler, Cameron Davis, Matt Kuchar, Davis Thompson, Chris Kirk. That'd be a nice payout there. Sam Burns, Eric Cole, and that's it. Okay, so that's kind of my strategy. Now, if you guys like any other bets, by all means, you can go for it, but pretty simple there. We'll jump into some head-to-head bets. And just as an FYI, while I'm still here, like the nice part about 3-ball bets is it truly is something that in the long term will pay off. Those 2-way bets kind of get annoying with some ties here and there. Like Chan Kim, for example. Chan Kim, if he doesn't get a double bogey on his second to last hole, he hits a water ball, a different day. But you add in a little bit extra odds for some of those golfers that are really good bets, that typically does add up in the long term. So we'll jump on into the matchup bets here now as well. Seeing if we're getting any good round bets here for those American-only markets. So FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, we'll toss those in there. All right, so we got Harris English losing to Keith Mitchell at -115. Decent odds there. Harry Hall beating Eric Cole, okay, -120. And then I don't really like this one, guys. Charlie Hoffman over Justin Lauer. I don't really need to get to that one. I don't feel the need to get to that one. This one's not terrible. Carson Young over Kevin Roy, -110. That seems like a pretty good bet there for FanDuel. These are all FanDuel. Huh, okay. But I think I'd rather go with that. So like these 3 I'm going to highlight here for you. These are kind of the 3 head-to-head bets that I like. Now, if you guys want to go with something else, obviously that's up to you guys, and you guys can go ahead and do that there as well. Now we're going to go ahead and jump on into the Showdown picks. And so, guys, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest fan of round 4 Showdown, just because there's much more luck that goes into it. You'd look at like round 2 Showdown, obviously can be a pretty darn big edge with kind of looking at golfers with regression and whatnot, expected to go back to their mean. I kind of like that. Round 1, you're basically targeting your player pool for the most part, and typically that's a good thing. But and there's maybe some little advantage to maybe a golfer in round 3 that, you know, barely made the cut, that was expected to play well, and then he goes off in round 3. But when it comes to this, it's all about finishing position. Round 4 Showdown is all about finishing position, and it becomes much more difficult then. Now, this is a tournament where, like, for example, Max Graceman really went off and had a great round 3 on the stadium course, which obviously elevated both where, like, if that was round 4, obviously he scored a lot of birdies, and then he also gained a lot of points with his position. So, like, kind of regardless, we want to be looking at those golfers that are going to be good Showdown picks for that specific round, but we do need to be factoring in where they are starting. And again, that's kind of the difficult part. So if we're just looking at kind of in general who are the best picks, Justin Thomas, Patrick Hanley, Seb Straka, Jason Day, Max Graceman. So for my Jason Day outright bet, that's not good. But for Justin Thomas, who really just went off on the Century tournament, that was his best round of that week, maybe he does go off in this one. Patrick Hanley, who really got together today as I'm recording this, could get there. And Seb Straka is in a weird position because he's in a position where, one, he has played great. He's played a little bit better than expected. He has struggled at this tournament in the past, and that was really the one knock on him data-wise. But he's in a position where he probably doesn't need to go out and try to score that much. He might be doing a lot of bogey avoidance. It will be difficult for golfers to beat him. Let's say if he shoots -2, -3 at this course. And so he might not push it as much as he maybe has. And so I don't know if we exactly need to get there with Seb Straka. And so we'll take a peek here at the 9-to-5 lineup builder, kind of show you guys that. 2 of the better values that we have on the slate, projected values, are Billy Horschel, Mark Hubbard, and then Bo Hosler, who had a good round, and then Seb Straka. So he's still the 4th best value, 5th best value on the slate. Sorry, Jason Day's. Why is he still priced that low? I don't get it. That is just super strange. Like, he was ranked as a top 6 play, really expected to go out and play well. He has basically played as expected, maybe a little bit better than expected. I don't get it. Like, to me, it's like, sure, okay, he opened as, DFS wise at a strange price tag, outright wise at some strange odds. And I get, probably just, I don't know, just maybe people just don't want to bet on Jason Day, so there wasn't that much value in him. And so the betting market does reflect kind of the pricing in DFS and kind of the ownership in DFS sometimes. And maybe people just weren't excited to bet on him. I honestly don't know. It's a strange one, but love the fact that he's still at 8K And for the most part, I do like the idea of targeting golfers that played the stadium course yesterday. I like the fact that they're going to get 2 straight rounds here in at this course. And so I do want to get into Beau Hossler. Billy Horschel would be fun. Patrick Cantlay, Max Gracerman, I would actually rather get to as well. Those are the golfers I'm kind of gearing up to play a little bit more. But we'll run this, guys. Obviously, it's going to get to Billy Horschel here. We're going to round up slightly here, 58.8, whatever. We just need to give it 2 data points to go off. That's all we're trying to do here. We're going to generate, and I think we're going to get Billy Horschel and Mark Hubbard. Honestly, it's probably going to be a close build to that, and pretty much that's the build that we are getting here. We'll zoom in. So Justin Thomas is getting to Seb Straka. I mean, not terrible here. I mean, I don't hate this build. And guys, just as an FYI, I don't do showdown ownerships. They don't matter. You shouldn't pay attention to the showdown ownerships, and they're really the projections that we have across the industry. Typically not that good for showdown, so don't even sweat that. That's from the main slate, those projections. I kind of like this build, but how chalky is it going to be, right? And again, I probably want to be targeting more of the golfers that did play the stadium course a little bit more. So maybe we could actually just go, I mean, we're pretty much doing that here, minus Seb Straka. I don't hate this build. That's not bad. I think you could get away with running that out. That's not terrible. Not terrible at all. Now, underdog best ball draft wise, if you guys want to do that, it's a little bit different because you are just going off of players that are going to go out and score. I think there's some risk reward with that because maybe, let's say, for example, a golfer like Max Gracerman or even like Ben Griffin, who obviously I was on as an outright, are they actually going to try to push it? And, you know, on some of those tougher hole locations, are they going to go for it, which could lead to massive blow up holes? Or are they going to play it safe? You know, are they going to try to win or try to secure that top 10? That's kind of the difficult part. I'm not doing too much for underdog round 4. Now, guys, jumping into the PrizePicks and Underdog prop bets that we have here. Yesterday was a decent day, I would say. Really, again, it kind of depends on what you guys were able to go ahead and end up doing. It's kind of unfortunate that Ricky wasn't able to middle for us, but the bets actually went 3 for 5 on Underdog, and then on PrizePicks went 4 for 5. So if you did my strategy of pairing them up as 2 slip bets, you should have had a pretty good day. Now, I understand that some of the bets were not available by the time some of you guys watched this. But again, if you're a site member, the 2 golfers that had the biggest prop line differences that were there for most of the day were Ricky Fowler and Will Zalatoris. Willie Z ended up being a push, and so that bet did not count, which in a weird way kind of ended up helping out on the day in general. But the nice part about that is when those bets were available, you could just use those with the top prop bets on the PrizePicks Underdog board on the day, which should have been decent. I mean, the board was kind of okay today, college basketball wise for the most part for both sports. Some near misses, which was a little bit annoying. But let's go ahead and take a peek at this one, guys. So one, I do think we are going to see a tougher setup here. And that's really what we are seeing here. That's really what they are setting up for here as well. Now, again, does Seb Straka really need to push it? That's the biggest question. At 70.5 strokes, it's tough to say for sure. But let's go ahead and take a peek at what the data is telling us are going to be good bets. And so we take a peek at the PrizePicks prop bets that we are getting, guys. We are getting some prop line differences. That is always going to be the starting point for PrizePicks Underdog prop betting. Is are we getting any prop line differences? That's where we should be attacking it, and then attacking it based off of what the data sees. So I'm kind of indifferent about Beau Hossler, JJ Spawn there. I do expect this course to actually play more difficult. And so I think I want to be more on the over bets there on Underdog for those guys, and even tossing in Mark Hubbard into that mix. So like, to me, the question is simple. Are they going to shoot 2 under par, right? I don't know. To me, given the Sunday setup, I think they're going to struggle. And so I'm struggling to get to those guys. Another kind of interesting spot here as well is with Patrick Cantlay. Okay, will he make 6 birdies here with his PrizePicks line at 5? And if we look at his game log, guys, he was able to do that in round 3, again, on that Pete Dye course. But again, will it play a little bit more difficult here? Maybe so. But he had 3 on the front 9 and then 5 on the back 9 with 3 straight. How likely is that to happen again? I don't know, but I also do think he probably does have a good chance to get to 5. At the same time, getting to that 6 birdie would be difficult. So this is a weird spot where I do think we could get away with betting the over on Underdog of 4.5 birdies, but then still betting the under on PrizePicks. Because again, for that bet to miss, if you're betting under 5, he needs to get to 6 birdies. And kind of a nice thing here, guys, a kind of a sneaky thing you guys can do here is because Matt Kuchar is at 71.5 strokes here, or 71. Actually, never mind. That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense. It would actually be this, like if you're betting under strokes for JJ Spawn and then also under birdies or better for Patrick Cantlay, those 2 bets actually don't correlate. So the payout shouldn't be reduced. Now we'll take a peek at the best edges that we are currently getting. The data is liking a lot of these golfers to get 4 birdies. I don't know if I see that, guys, to be honest with you. Like, they probably will get to 4 birdies, but when I'm looking at this is what is the percent likelihood that they'll get over that? And I don't know if I exactly see it with those guys. Maybe Daniel Berger. I could get there with Daniel Berger, but I don't feel like we need to push it with the rest of those guys, honestly. So we'll get into a quick bet of the day here. But first, before we do that, guys, I do want to call out some lines that we're getting on pick 6 right now, which is DraftKings pick 6. So if you guys play DFS, these should all be available for you guys. We're going to see here that they're honestly a little bit too low with their lines right now. So you could just hammer the mores then, and what you have to bet the opposite way. And so you could also bet less than fantasy score for someone there as well. So Seb Straka, less than fantasy score, for example, and then you could just hammer some of these overs, because again, look at the difference between PrizePicks and Underdog with some of these ones. First, Seb Straka 70.5, right? And so like that's 2-stroke difference. That should not be happening. So that's really how we should be going about attacking today's slate. All right, so jumping into the bet of the day here, guys, going to be attacking the prop line differences between PrizePicks and pick 6. Actually, that's the best route to go. And so actually, if you run this out as a 5-slip bet, it's not drastic. Now, again, you typically just want to do 2 slip bets here with these. Okay, that's the best route to go. Now, looking at it on pick 6, I mean, you're going to have to mix and match a little bit like Seb Straka. That stroke line is off by 2, right? So honestly, if you're just attacking that one and then maybe using less than fantasy score like with Justin Thomas there, and then just going down the list, Patrick Cantlay as well, and then kind of doing the exact opposite. Obviously, the fantasy score for pick 6, that's going to be based off of birdies and bogeys and whatnot and all the other. It correlates pretty well with the strokes, okay? So if you are, let's say, betting on Justin Thomas to get less than his fantasy score, you could then pair that Seb Straka bet, Seb Straka right here. You could pair that up with the strokes prop on PrizePicks. So that's a decent way to go about attacking it. But that's going to be all for today's video, guys. If you guys want access to any of the data on the website, make sure to head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to all the picks and data that I just called out to you guys. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Oh, for just $10 a month. Toss that in there. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. Hopefully the sweats go the way that they need to go for you guys on Sunday.